Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Jen and Gina show. I'm Gina, and my friend Jen is on the phone. Say hi, Jen.
Hey everyone.
Today we're going to be recording episode number 16, and in this episode, we're going to make our predictions on what the consolidation slash merger plans are for the future of Uniontown and Laurel Highlands. And so the reason why we're doing this episode today is because there is a hearing set to close Franklin on to start the talks about closing Franklin on December 18th of this year. And this is the first step in a 90-day process that they have to fulfill in order to close a school. And it is really, really important for everybody in the Uniontown Area School District to attend these meetings because not only the hearings, but all the other meetings that they will schedule for this year, because it'll give you insight about what's going to come up next. And the reason why I say that is because I attended most of the meetings last year in regards to the AJ closing. And even though there was a mountain panel that was put together that had 4 administrators and 4 school board members giving them information on the direction that the closing of AJ was going, they were still surprised by the outcome because they expected that AJ was going to stay open and that they were going to all merge into AJ. And I saw that coming from a mile away based off the information that was presented by the IU and the bond counselors that were available during the year during those meetings. And so I think it's really important to know what is happening in the rest of those meetings and able to understand what's going to happen in the future. So do I believe they're going to close Franklin? Absolutely. I think that they're going to merge with Manellin, and I think that they're going to make Manellin a K through 5. And any of the kids that are going to be going into the 6th grade that year, they will go to their respective middle schools. So the kids that are going into 6th grade from Franklin will go to Lafayette. The kids from 6th grade going into Manellin will go to Ben Franklin. And then that will equalize the city schools as far as the K through 5 will be the middle school, 6 through 8 will be the middle school, and that is also parallel to what happened in the mountains, right, Jen?
Right. In the mountains, you have 6 through 8, which was AJ, now Mark Clay, and K through 5 at Wharton. So how we predict this then, because they're going to close R.W. Clark at LH, that's the
Yes.
prediction. They'll close 1 elementary, so they'll have 3 K through 5s over there. So we'll just have the 3.
And
and
so
then we're going to end up closing this Mark Clay the following year
yes.
and merging them downtown.
So then we'll have one middle school slash high school because they're going to merge the middle school into the high school, and then they're going to merge. Then there will only be 3 elementary schools left in circulations for the Uniontown Area School District, which will be one in the mountains, one in the city, and one in the mountains, the city, and the valley. And so
Yes, Manellin.
yes, because in the same year that they're going to do the hearings to close the middle schools up in the mountains, I believe they're probably going to simultaneously close down one of the city schools, which is projected to be Lafayette. So when they do that, I believe that at some point, I believe the year after that, they will merge Uniontown with Laurel Highlands, because then they will merge down to 1 high school, 1 middle school, and have 6 elementary schools in the entire district, which will equalize those areas out as far as elementary schools are concerned. And so the reason I think they're going to do that is because they're going to cut the administration costs down by half, because they can get rid of half of their administrators as far as superintendents, curriculum coordinators, business managers, all those positions, buildings, grounds, and keeps, they're all going to be reduced down to half of what they have right now between the 2 schools, which is going to save both taxpayers in the respective areas a massive amount of money as far as those positions and benefits are concerned, and also transportation. And what else can they save on, Jen?
They're going to save on nurses, teachers, but it'll also, if you think about it, this will also enhance our sports programs, arts programs, all of our extras, special things that they haven't been able to have because of money.
Yeah.
Now those things will be available. Our special ed program they should also have extra, have the extra money available.
But I don't know if they would reduce teachers because I think there's a shortage of teachers. I think that they will shift those teachers around, but I most certainly think that they will consolidate custodians, cafeteria workers, nurses, and all those security guards and all those sorts of things. So,
and you just think about the gas price when you're saving in transportation.
Yes.
Or even the yard work. You're
mowing
of grass everywhere.
Right. And maintaining the buildings and making sure they're up to code and those sorts of things. And so, as far as the mergers are concerned, also, I think it's going to happen because Laurel Highlands is smack dab in the middle of the Uniontown area school district. So they're sandwiched between the mountains and the valley, and central office is literally in the middle of Laurel Highlands. And so as far as the circumference and the mileage is concerned, it's not going to add mileage to our district by any means, because the furthest point in both directions of Uniontown are further than the Laurel Highlands School District. Laurel Highlands is literally in the middle of our district, sandwiched in between those areas. And so because of transportation, having to cross paths in the middle of the city to take these schools to the different areas, I think that they're just going to merge them all, and it's going to save millions of dollars in transportations probably as well, because they're going to reduce bus routes, I bet. I'm sure there's going to be a reduction in bus routes, especially because there was a redundant bus route crossing paths over in Manellen, over in the Smock area in regards to the kids going to Franklin and Manellen. That's probably going to reduce transportation costs. And now, if they merge down to an elementary school up in the mountains, they're already crossing over back and forth across the mountains in order to get the kids from one school to the other school, whether they're going to the middle school or the elementary school. They're crisscrossing all across the mountains, right, Jen?
Yes, they're because the kids that were going to AJ always, they were Mark Clay and Wharton combined at AJ. Now we're just crisscrossing. The kids that were going to go from Wharton have to go to Mark Clay now, and vice versa. The elementary kids that were going to go to Mark Clay and now have to go to Wharton. So it's just costing more money. It really didn't save anything up for transportation in the mountain by closing AJ.
Right. And I don't know what is in the future for the mountain schools in general. I don't know if there's going to be a redistricting of some sort. That was sort of in the balance as well, I believe. But I really think that it would save both taxpayers and the respective districts money on in a lot of different areas. And I do believe that the Uniontown area high school might become the new high school because their capacity rate, the capacity number is higher at Uniontown area high school versus Laurel Highlands. And then LH will become the middle school.
High school will become the middle school because I think it's around 1,400 they can hold. And if you do the numbers, we have like 1,200 middle schoolers between the two districts right now. And I think the capacity for the high school is around 1,600 and some. And if you combine the high school population right now between the two, I think we're right around 1,400. So there's still room for your extracurricular, your arts and crafts, your special ed rooms, all that other stuff that is necessary in your band rooms.
Right.
So I think it'll increase sports and all kinds of stuff for us, for our children.
That's probably going to increase their middle school band. I think there's a lot of really positive things that can happen there, but also we want to make sure that you guys really understand that it's important to still go to those meetings, whether you think their minds are made up or not, because there's going to be other important decisions made about what's going to happen with the building once Franklin closes. And we believe that it would be in the community's best interest to keep it as an early education facility, to maybe find out whether or not and do some research on whether or not it can be turned into a Head Start pre-K program. in order to save the zoning to remain a school zoning, and because
Right. I mean, they could talk to the people at Fraser even and Manellen and make it a whole pre-K for that whole area.
right. And so because what happens if it doesn't, Jen? What happens if they
well,
change
we
the
all know if
zoning?
it doesn't, he's going to reapply for, a solar farm over there. And because if the school's no longer there, he can now file for another permit. And if it gets deemed zoned industrial, we know that's our red flag that a solar company is coming.
And we don't want that, because that's only going to be detrimental to the taxpayers in the Franklin community. There's a lot of residual effects that come along with those that aren't being publicly discussed. So that's all I have for today, John, on this subject. We urge you, like we said, to go to the meeting December 18th and to continue going to all the follow-up meetings in regards to that, because at best, you should advocate what's going to go next in that building and how that building will be utilized in the future by your community.
Yes, and LH did upload their feasibility study to their website. You can download it and look at it at any time.
Yes.
But it is available. But that's all for me. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.